Hello and welcome back to AC's Make and Repair. If this is your first time viewing my channel, my name's Arthur. I live in North Queensland, Australia. It's great to have you along. Well, you might have guessed by the title of the video that we're going to be making a scarf hanger. And especially for you guys in the Northern Hemisphere, you could make these for not only your own use or your wife's use, but also as gifts, especially for that cold time of the year that will be approaching you quicker than you can poke a stick at it. Here in Australia, we're in our winter at the moment. What we call winter, we might get one frost a year, which doesn't affect us where we are. We don't get it where our house is. Down lower in our paddock, we get a little bit of frost sometimes. But we don't really have a cold winter here. So look, come along with me today. I'll show you, fast forwarded through the video, how I made this scarf hanger. At the end of the video, I'll give you an opportunity to have a look at the plans. I'll give you about 10 seconds of video of the plans. You might be able to jot down some stuff, do a screenshot maybe of that, just to get the dimensions if you want to make one the same. You don't have to make it exactly the same as mine. You can put the holes in a different area if you want. You can put less holes. It's entirely up to you. But I just thought I'd put it out there for an idea for you guys to have a go at. Thanks for joining me. Here's the drawings I made for this particular scarf hanger. I actually marked it out first on the timber, and then I proceeded to cut it out, shape it, etc. As you can see here, I marked it out first. I'll provide those plans at the end that you can take a screenshot of. Here it is marked out on the original board before I cut it out and shape it, etc. There's a little piece across the bottom between the two scarf ends that I was going to use as another hanger, but I ended up taking that out eventually. Start the making process by boring some holes. Here I'm using 1 7/8 Forstner bit. It's the bit that I use for all the main holes. I strongly suggest you put a block of wood underneath your plywood when you're drilling it. This helps prevent tear out. You always get a little bit of tear out, but you try to mitigate that problem. You can always use masking tape of some sort. This can also help, but I suggest using a block of wood. Here I stop the bit just to clean the point, and I find it easier to locate the centre mark for the holes by stopping the bit too. Next it's onto my old pattern style jigsaw. I cut the external perimeters with it. You can alternatively cut this with a normal handheld jigsaw, or a bandsaw, or even a scroll saw. If you haven't got any of these, you could even use a coping saw, although that would take a little bit of time to do it by hand. I find this old saw works great. I can get more detail cut than I can with a bandsaw. Also, the cleaner and the closer you get to your mark, the less sanding you have to do. Here I'm cutting out that part I'll later remove. While I'm doing this though, I do put some masking tape on it to prevent tear out. This is a brand new jigsaw blade, but using a jigsaw on this sort of plywood sometimes creates tear out. So I've put some masking tape down eventually to minimise the tear out. I started cutting the detail for the heart out in the middle with my jigsaw. However, I wasn't really satisfied with the finish I was getting, so I went to my little scroll saw. It's a pin scroll saw, so I was able to remove the blade, poke it through the heart, and then cut it out in better detail. Now it's on to the sanding process. I'm using the disc sander here. I could have actually used the belt sander setup I made in the last video, and it could have even been better for this job in some ways. Now I'm doing all the concaves with the spindle sander. These are a brilliant little tool and really cut down time when it comes to these internal corners, etc. I do the detail on the heart with this as well. I'll blend in all the externals to the internals with this as well. It does a fantastic job. You could alternatively put a little drum in your drill press, or even in a drill itself, a little drum sander that is. You can buy them quite cheaply at a hardware store. You could even use a small sanding flap wheel in your drill. I'm using a 1/4 inch roundover bit on my router table here to round over every external corner and internal corner for a nice roundover. This works well on this 12mm ply as it can facilitate the bearing and the cutter. However, on a 9mm piece of ply or 3/8 ply, you wouldn't be able to use this size bit. You may have to go down to a 1/8 bit to use it on that 9mm or 3/8 ply. Doing this round over also helps remove any marks left from tear out. After finishing this part of the process, I do go on to give it a hand sand. I do remove that crossbar at the bottom. I don't think it suits the design of this. I put it there as an extra hanging part, but I didn't like it, so I did remove it, as you'll see in the coming photos. I haven't finished this with any type of finish. You could finish it with varnish or a clear lacquer, or you could go on and give it some sort of finish like a shabby chic finish. It's entirely up to you. Here is the plans. If you screenshot this page, you'll be able to zoom in and get the dimensions. Well, thanks for joining me, folks. Hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe and share me with your friends. Bye for now.